be hugely important. And so, from the point of view of they're going to do it in kind of an organic way. They will do some collaborations with other people, but they will pick and choose them. But yeah, there's certainly some excitement around that. And of course, that will change. Oh, you can't hear me.
Yeah, I just fixed it. They can hear you now.
Uh,
So we lost
so
you for like
does that?
15 minutes of me talking to
What?
myself.
Oh,
Hey,
DK, thank you.
there was
Do I have to repeat myself now for the
you
last 15 minutes?
100%. 100%. Give us
What?
a
I can't
give it
remember that.
give us a 2-minute recap.
You're joking.
I wish I was. I'm surprised no one said anything. There was at least another person or two watching. Oh, that's
Oh
funny.
dear.
That's okay. All right. Yeah, no
You're
hiccups. Remember? We're good.
2023 tech-free trials.
That's right.
Wow. So you didn't get any of it. Okay. Where do
Mm-mm.
I start? Um,
Aerospace.
okay.
You're
Quick
excited about
aerospace
it?
then.
You're building acquisition.
So, okay. I've got 3 ground control stations. The reason I've got 3 ground
Mhm.
control stations is I can level my martisans. To level the martisans gives me access to high level stamina for aerospace because there's no job market for um, aerospace at all at the moment.
Right.
Um, so I have to create my own stamina for me to use, and a lot of the stuff does need aerospace levels.
Mhm.
I've got a Vulcan Metalworks, which I probably need more of. It's because everything takes metals. That's the smelting factory, but also creates canisters for fuel, which is also needed um, for me to place the rocket fuel station and also for me to get the fuel into the fuel tanks. So those are the 4 buildings I have at the moment. The 3, which can all be placed in game and built in game as we speak.
Mhm.
The 3 which you can't place is the launch pad, the hangar, and the Velociraptor engine works. Now those I don't have, and I'm working towards getting, and I'm doing that by using the ground control station and getting the aerospace credits, so that I can purchase them from the in-game shop for the research credits. There is limited supply. I think it is only 1 per person,
Mhm.
but certainly that is the simpler, non-random way of getting them. You can get recipes in Dustworks Landing, which is a player area of Mars set aside. And in there, it's a little bit more random and a bit more expensive to get hold of those designs. The other way of doing it, there are leaderboards, which some of the designs go for, but of course, you need to win the leaderboard, so that's a bit more random as well.
Right.
Um, so, yeah, all in all, um, getting schematics is the hard bit. Just for people who don't know, a schematic is a one-time use recipe. So if you want multiple buildings, you need multiple schematics. Um, but yeah, it's expensive, really expensive, and certainly you need either a lot of Vulcan Metalworks or a lot of time in the Vulcan Metalworks just to get all the steels and alloys that you need to be able to build the hoppers and to build all the various elements you need to get these buildings going. So big, expensive, really expensive, heavy on glitter. Um, but yeah, it is. I'm enjoying it,
That's good.
but yeah, it's not for everyone. It's not
Right.
for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, seems like a nice long path.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's really cool. So, I like
So
it.
yeah, it's my chickens. You
Mhm.
guys can keep your chickens. I'm going to keep this one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just waiting till you figure it all out, and then I'll start my aerospace journey. So,
Yeah, it's. I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit more collaborative. Certainly, that's the ambition
mhm.
of Eric on this, is that it's group play. There's group stuff to do there, so I'm looking forward to that as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see these things finally take off, you know? It's gonna be a while, but
Yeah.
it's getting there. So,
Well, yeah. And so, do we need to recap our views for 2023 as well?
yeah.
Did you get?
There
Okay.
mhm.
So, things that we're excited about for next year, for this year.
Right.
God. So, Eric's recap video at the end of last year is well worth a watch. In it, he's
Yeah.
talking about short term. increasing the players through player growth. Now that's going to be really important. It's going to change the marketplace. It's going to change the need for buildings. It's going to change a whole load of stuff, and certainly it's going to grow the game quite nicely because certainly um, we've got a nice bedrock, a nice foundation. There's not a lot else out there which can compete with us. So yeah, that's going to be a really really nice growth plan.
Hmm.
Um, but the stuff which I'm excited about, so aerospace and life science, we can kind of see, we can see a bit of a journey on that. But it's the hidden things which I think that we can be excited for as well. Things like entrepreneurship, um, entertainment, that sort of stuff. We know nothing. And
Right.
yeah, cooking. Your
Yep.
thing on cooking as well.
It's gonna be massive.
So,
Yeah.
it's going to be huge. And I'm really excited to see. Not that I will participate in it. I'll just buy whatever you guys make. But what Mitch has got cooking for us for
Yeah.
cooking is will be phenomenal.
Right.
Mitch is seasoned at this sort of stuff. So
For sure.
how many more? Can I throw more cooking jokes in there?
Yes, you can.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. I'm excited to see like the recipe names and stuff and like what he's calling the dishes and then what are the various buffs that come with it, you know?
Ah,
Yeah.
and they can do anything now.
Hmm.
They've got the game with the tools which they've now got in place, but they're still being refined.
Hmm.
And yeah, they can do anything. So
Yeah.
super, super good stuff.
You know one
Really
thing that I
is.
really liked, like I was I was reading some stuff over the Christmas and New Year's and stuff. I
Yeah.
saw the alert for the automatic drip that was happening. So I was reading that post and I'm like, how cool is this? Like what is this? This is neat.
Oh,
So, do you know much about it?
the drip into the dynamic treasury.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
It sounds pretty damn cool.
Lamp has done a sterling job. I mean, he doesn't get many shouts out, but he certainly deserves one for this because we've been after the drip into the dynamic treasury. And for those who don't know, it's when people spend money or do stuff in the game, there's a feed of Dusk back into the game for it then to be put past. For it then to be sent out to players as they fulfill activities. So it's kind of a self fulfilling loop. The problem in the past was it was a manual thing to take what is the Ceres pool, so that's the collector from all of the game, to then distribute out to the various pools which are assigned to galleries or pirate radios or whatever it might be. What LAMP has done is done the dynamic drip of that so that it automatically happens every 2 hours.
Hmm.
So less manual input from the team, automatic top up so that we're not waiting for it to happen because somebody's had to find some spare time to be able to do it. And it's not having to be calculated, it's automatically done as per the algorithm. Now they can tweak and change the algorithm as to make sure how the game goes and to make sure that if they want to top up one more than another because there's a different direction. So they've got all those configurations in it. But it's just meant that you've started to see some of the ones which were not so well followed coming back to the fray to say, actually, these ones want to be done again. It was always the
Hmm.
intention of dynamic treasury is you could oscillate between the different pools. Um, so such a good job, and yeah, I'm so pleased that they've got it in because it is making a big difference. And certainly when you see some of the volumes, it gives intel to the team as to who's spending where and what's a good generation of dust for the company and then for the player base. It's yeah, really really useful.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Ah,
I
so
like it.
good, so good.
I like it. Well, taxes. We know this was a big deal. What, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 podcasts ago? Taxes came into
Yeah,
play. People were
yeah,
sour, very sour,
very sour,
very.
very, and it showed a complete lack of trust in the team and in what they're trying to do.
Right.
Um, And it's interesting. I've had a conversation with a couple of new joiners to the game,
Yeah.
saying, "Yeah, yeah, we're just going to do a little bit, and I want to earn some." And I went, "Well, that's fine if you've got that mindset, and it's not really the company policy, but it is all right if you just want to come in and earn some stuff. But
Hmm.
you have to be aware that the game is not aimed to do that. It's a game, and it needs to be self-fulfilling and self-sustaining."
Hmm.
Which means that you'll get decisions made by the team which you won't agree with if all you're trying to do is pull out funds.
Right.
And that was one of them. And what it's done is taken a dusk market on Alcor, which was down in the dumps, And we're now back at the point one, which was always the, do you know what, we want to sit around this kind of number.
Hmm.
Yes, we may vary it in the future, but point one was always kind of the target. And we're sat there. And I had a look today and we're nice and stable around the point one. We peaked a bit above it, but we're back down at point one. And that's allowed them to reduce the controls to allow people to withdraw more. So yes, they
Yeah.
put the brakes on the market, which is crashing. Yes, they've reversed it, but now that it's got to a point where we're now happy, they can relax it. That's exactly
Hmm.
what you want from a game. You
Yeah.
want the what do they call it? Just sort of some sort of right intent of management of the game, rather than just trying to rip the guts out of it and make a quick cash grab.
Hmm.
It is very much more of a case of we've put some measures in place to make sure that we don't suffer any detriments. And now that it's fixed, we can now back away from those decisions which we had to make at the time.
Yeah,
I
makes
see
sense.
no problem with it at all.
Yeah, and they laxed the tax quite a bit. I think because
Yeah.
I think the 50% was on what 10 or 20K before.
Yeah, and there's a million now. It
Yeah,
goes
yeah, it's like
the top one's a
200K or
million.
something. I forget.
Now, hang on,
Maybe you
I've
could
got it
pull it
here.
up. Yeah. What's the first
Uh,
bracket?
so 0 to 2K is 10%.
Nice.
And then so that's great for a small player. Um, I mean, it's great for any player, to be fair.
Right.
But the next bracket's the one which I found really interesting. It's 2 to 10K is 20%.
Mm-hmm.
Now, every 2 weeks, that's kind of suits most of us. If you want to pull out, I mean, I haven't pulled out anything in absolute eternity, but
Same.
so certainly, if you want to pull some stuff out, you can do that. And
Yeah.
10K is what, $100, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not that much.
Yeah, and they
I'll
said
work
they
it
were
out.
gonna lax it eventually, and here they
So
have. So they've
they
honored their
have.
word, and that's good.
And they always have honoured their word. They've never
Hmm.
stretched away from it. And yeah, some things may have been misunderstood in the past or miscommunicated. Well, that's
Hmm.
human nature. That happens to everybody.
Right.
They've never been deceitful or gone against what they've been trying to do, and almost to a fault. And certainly, there are some situations where I wish they'd just bin the stuff. But
Paul,
yeah,
buy a Nefty, not Atomic Hub.
what's he
No, I'm
saying?
kidding. I'm kidding. Paul, he said now I can pull out tokens to buy stuff on Atomic Hub. So I said buy
It's
a
a fair point.
Nefty.
Oh yeah, not Atomic Hub, buy on
Yeah,
Nifty
yeah.
because you
Get your Nefty points.
get your Nifty rewards.
I tell you,
It just gives you cash back.
those Nefty points used to like really come in handy, especially when we had the Thursday
Yeah,
drops for Mars.
yeah,
Because there was one time where I didn't have any wax, and I was like, "Whoa, I have these Nefty points," and sure enough, I bought a few packs when they launched them,
yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like,
It adds
"Wow,
up.
Nefty points is pretty cool." So I hope that's still a
So
thing. I haven't really,
it is. It is
yeah,
absolutely still a thing. I haven't done anything on it. I use Atomic Hub to search, and I use Nifty to buy and sell.
yeah,
I prefer the search engine on Atomic.
yeah, me too. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot more dialed in or smooth. It's just way better.
and
But
also
yeah,
for those Nifty points, you don't need to do anything. As long as you buy and sell there, you'll get them. It's not like you
yeah,
have to register or fill in a form or click a button somewhere.
uh
You just get them.
yeah. It's the same blockchain too. So if you list it on Nefty, it's listed on Atomic as well. Same
Yeah,
API or whatever they call it. I really don't know technicals
yeah.
on that, but
And if you want your Nifty in wax, you just use Alcor to sell Nifty by wax.
mhm.
It's a very simple transaction.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All I know is it came in clutch for me a couple times, so that's pretty cool.
You scraping the bottom of the barrel for your chicken feed.
You know it. You know it.
You know it. You know it. Oh
Yep.
dear.
So let's see here. What else do we have? We got, I guess, just a overall recap is all we have left.
Well, it's because you keep muting me for the first half of the conversation.
Yep.
um, recap. What do I think of last year? It's a good question. I think it was a transformative year.
Yeah.
I think we went from a game which was alpha, I think was fair, to a very, very well. I'm not going to say polished because I think there is more that we can do in that space, but certainly more fleshed out, um, more to do. And I think the biggest thing for me out of all of it, more stable. It is self sustaining, it isn't suffering from. big dusk inflation or anything like that. So that stability, I think, is fundamental
Hmm.
for us to have a great year this year.
Yeah, it's
And I
awesome.
think and I think people who've put money and time into building lands and building bases will have a real big advantage going forwards, because if you can get dusk and, well, we've not talked about glitter too much.
Oh,
We
that's
need
right.
to talk about that one as well.
Yeah.
Because, or maybe we'll drop that in here now, because glitter is certainly due this month.
Hmm.
Um, by that I mean glitter due on Solana network. Hang on a sec. You and I are both suffering. By glitter being tradable on the Solana network. Now, that for me is huge, because you need a lot of glitter. Um, it does a couple of things. It supports the team in their ability to execute and recruit and pay themselves and ensure that there's a lifelong game here,
Hmm.
but also gives us access to the people who don't want to buy in game. Um, that wrapping of glitter is quite expensive, and I don't quite know how it's going to work, whether you still need to wrap it or not. Um, but yeah, it's going to offer a nice exit point. Now, Solana is a concern, obviously, with the FTX debacle.
Yeah.
Um, but what I think we're also seeing is Polygon and Matic and that sort of thing becoming really the next step. Um, I think that then leads us into a place where cross-chain movement of NFTs needs to be a thing, but I don't see that this half of the year. I think that's a later half of the year. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a pretty big move.
Yeah.
Yeah, to add another chain. Yeah, it'll be cool though. Like eventually, it's just gonna be like an octopus where there's like this
Yeah.
legs going everywhere. You know?
I think adding another chain will be sooner.
Yeah.
I think that'll be certainly February, if not before. I think it's the ability to automatically port NFTs between chains. That's the difficult bit.
Okay. Yeah,
But that's what I think will take longer.
that's right. That's what those coders are for, right?
Well,
No
they
problem.
got
They
to do
got
something.
this.
Yeah, yeah,
No
yeah.
problem. Easy.
But so yeah, so looking forward to that glitter.
Yeah.
Certainly, I mean, I've been lucky. I've got founders tokens. I've got martisans, which give me a lot of glitters, which allows me to do what I want to do. For those who don't, I can see it being a problem, because
Right.
buying glitter's not cheap.
No. No. And I'm saving mine. So I've decided like I'm just gonna collect it and use it in game basically. So
Yeah, well, I want to save mine, and I keep blowing it on stupid. Right, titanium lock boxes.
stop.
They only have tools in, right? They don't have anything else. Because
Okay.
I've opened about 6 of those things, and all I get is stupid tools. But it's a very
I don't
expensive
know.
tool.
Yeah. You like it though.
But
There's nothing like opening up a box and like getting lucky on a pull.
well, it's almost so. Yeah, it's almost got me into divorce territory, because I keep giving the lock boxes to my missus to open. I
Yeah.
mean, the woman's rubbish. Love her to bits, but she's rubbish.
Oh, horrible
Um,
pulls. No good.
horrible pulls. So the best she's done is she got a make expert chemistry tool from a titanium box, but even that's still
Yeah.
only 2K's worth. But yeah, it's horrible.
That's all right.
But yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are some nice bits. So
Mm-hmm.
I managed to get a pull for a recipe, which was um, the solar panels, the gold solar panel packs. So we managed to get hold of a few of the Cantina vouchers for that, which allows you to stake the pack for a couple of months, and that was good. But we used them all, so there's none of those left. But there is the other packs available, so you can get an obsidian recipe. You can do some of those,
Yeah.
um, and yeah, there's the factory pack still, and rovers and mines.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think I'm going to trade my missus for Paul's missus, because she's lucky apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
Paul, you
mine's
lucky.
rubbish.
Lucky dog.
Yeah, see, she's worth her weight in dusk.
Oh
but
man, this is great. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm kind of giving the lock boxes a rest, because I've spent a little bit too much on them. I've
Yeah.
got some good recipes. My best one is probably Master Electrical Tools,
Mm-hmm.
um,
It's fabrication.
and yeah, fabrication.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know it's machining. Sorry,
Okay.
the Master Electrical Tools, which are made with fabrication.
Nice.
Um, Yeah, so that'll be good, and I'm going to do a video for my channel because I am bemused, confused, and baffled. Lots of great words there.
Uh-huh.
Why are people buying tools at twice the price that they need to? I don't
Because
understand this.
you could build them for half. Is that
So
what you're saying?
so DigiPedro's got a really, really nice tool, and I got him to add the
Yep.
expert and the master tools to it. So you can see the cost per charge of a tool.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go into the market, you can buy a master tool and it'll be one dusk per charge. Yeah, everybody's paid. Well, everybody, that's not fair. That is a disservice.
Yeah.
There are some people paying 2.5 dusk a tool instead of buying the bigger one, which would reduce their cost massively. And I don't understand.
Okay.
I get that it's more expensive for the tool outlay to start with, and that could well be a factor. But why would you pay 2.5 times your cost
Mm.
for every single recipe? It turns half of the digi stuff positive just by the tool you use.
Just buying it, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if you're able to go to Digi and just show because
Let
have
me
you
see
got
if I can pull
Digi?
it up. Do you want to pull it up?
Yeah, I
I'll see if I
can do.
can.
Well, it all depends whether you're going to disconnect me, throw me in the rubbish bin,
Haha.
or
I'm gonna
something
mute
else.
you again.
Right, let me see. Does that work?
Oh yeah.
My point is, in the top left-hand corner in the hamburger, you've got this
Yep.
tools box. I don't know if you saw that
Yep.
tools here.
Tools. Yep.
And in it, he's added in the expert and master for me. I don't know what the grayed out numbers mean,
Right.
but so top box is make, but the second box is buy. And for example, electrical tools, I mean that's not so much 1.6, but some of these others, mining, for example, yes, there's a supply thing, but I think you'll see that change over time. But why would you pay 2.7 when you can buy it for 0.7? I mean, that's ludicrous differences.
Oh, on the far
Scavenging.
right is the buying part.
Yeah, so this bottom box is the buy, and if you bought a novice, this is roughly how much you're paying per tool.
Oh, okay.
And life science is a classic. I see loads of people buying novice life science for their
Mm-hmm.
life science stuff, but you could buy master life science and pay almost a dusk less per task, per tool use.
Oh, that makes sense.
I,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So you can find
And experts,
the good deals.
yeah, and I'm not sure why people aren't using this more and more because certainly in the expert, I mean,
Yeah.
robotics is a classic example. Why robotics expert isn't flying off the shelves, I have
Mm-hmm.
no idea.
Well, I think like people that we know are doing this. People like me and
Mm.
you. Probably the team, whoever's playing. But some people who just don't know or just don't take the extra initiative to check. So, and some people probably don't even know this is a thing either.
Well, I think that's
So,
possibly it. And
yeah,
that's obviously part of the purpose of MarsCast to help educate people to understand what is
right,
out there.
yeah,
But and Mitch did some great work on bringing these tools in. And I think what's happening is it's going to be a slow filter of the knowledge to say it's
mhm,
not just a straightforward buy novice because that's what you used to do because that's the cheapest.
right,
You now need to use your head. You now need to think about it and understand what the best way of doing it is.
yeah, yeah,
Because
absolutely,
it's not always the same answer. It does change. As you can see here, certainly mining is journeyman at the moment because journeyman are cheap.
uh-huh,
I- So yeah.
yeah, and anywhere you can save some dust, the better. It's gonna make your
Well,
experience a lot better.
so just to put that into real context,
Yeah,
so mining 2.7,
yep.
okay, or if you bought journeyman at the moment it's 1.6. If you went into mining, I can't see it. Mining rig
Is that per point or point per charge?
per charge.
Okay.
So, and if you look at, I don't know, what's good here? Yeah, well, it's not great at the moment, but just as an example, DigiPedro pulls this up at when
Hmm.
you look at Regolith Mining 3, as 5 lots of 2.7. So that's the most expensive way of doing it. If you're saying it was roughly a dusk less, you can reduce 5 dusk out of your cost base.
Yeah.
So this becomes kind of neutral. So actually, yeah, right, you need dust to, sorry, regolith to shift a little bit is relatively cheap at the moment.
Yeah.
But in
No, I see what you're saying. Yeah,
reality,
you -5, it's pretty much at 18. So
yeah,
that is actually neutral or even in the green if you're not even selling it, because then you're saving that
correct. If you're
5%
using
tax.
it,
Yeah.
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 So that's my point is DigiPedro was great at its time and still is a great tool. It helps
Hmm.
you get to start, but it's not the be all and end all now. There is a lot more customization to this where you need to use your head to help you make more dusk because it's not straightforward. Is it green? Is it red?
Right.
It's changed.
No, yeah, I mean, it's always been that way, right? Like, if like that selling thing, like some people forget, like, okay, it's not profitable, but Digi does factor in that you're selling. So if you're not selling and you're rolling into the next thing, then you're saving
Yeah.
5%. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, we've always kind of thought about that.
Yeah. And it's, again,
Hmm.
more dynamics to the game, more happening. And yeah, so certainly well worth spending a bit of time understanding exactly what you are doing and how you want to do it and play the game for what you want to enjoy from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, and it's yeah, it can be good money to make tools. It's a long
Hmm.
process, but that should be why.
Yeah, it looks like Paul's making them to sell.
Yeah, yeah, and that's where being high level machining will be a benefit.
Hmm.
But yeah, certainly getting your machining up is a challenge, and I know Mitch is looking at that because yeah, the XP curves on some of the stuff is fairly steep and fairly monotonous.
Okay. Yeah. We should get someone who's high machining in here sometime. I don't think we've
Well,
had. Have we had someone who's been machining on the
what would you
podcast?
classify as high?
I don't know, like 50 plus.
So the guild's 94.
Well, yeah, we're not going to invite the guild, but like an
I'm
actual person, a
here.
person.
You want a person as opposed to an
Yeah,
ethereal entity.
but you know what I
Yeah,
mean, like where they can just give their perspective on it and see how it's going and stuff.
yeah. It would be good to get someone in to do that.
Yeah.
I tell you what would be an interesting content is to have one very pro person from each
Hmm.
skill and have them argue out why their skill's the best.
Next week.
Yeah,
That'd be sweet. Oh man.
yeah, that would be good fun.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that for sure. That'd be cool. We'll get that arranged. So, yeah, sorry for the last couple of weeks. We've been kind of hit or miss just with different things going on and world life events. You know,
Is I'll stick in my apologies. I took a holiday. I did a Christmas vacation,
yeah,
so I spent what 3 or 4 weeks um, in the States. So yeah, really enjoyed it.
that's
And
good.
sorry for the weather. It was my fault.
Yep, yep. He brought
Yeah,
the storm. Took
it's
care.
British weather. We can screw up any weather system.
Oh,
We're
pretty
brilliant
much.
at it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think that about sums it up. We'll be back next week, and yeah, I think maybe we'll work on finding some other people in some different professions and see if we can get them to argue. So, with that,
good.
we'll catch you in the next one.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya. All right.